In January of 2009, a group of pastors came together to dream about what it would look like to join our congregations together and to really make a difference in our community. In order to understand the big issues that those in our city are facing, we decided to invite in the mayor of Arvada.
About a year ago, I met with a group of pastors who asked me what's the best way they could help serve our city. There are a lot of issues that face our community, but the majority of them could be drastically reduced if we would just become a community of good neighbors.
The mayor of our city just asked us to obey the scriptures, to take Jesus seriously when he said, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. The mayor said that to a group of pastors. That's convicting. That's embarrassing, actually.
We knew that there was something very powerful in the fact that one of the leaders of our city was inviting us to start a movement in which we rediscover the art of neighboring. A couple months later, we came back together, and this time just to pray and to think about what we had heard. And we invited Vicki Ryer, who was the assistant city manager. And Vicki again said something in passing, just like Bob had done, that just stopped us in our tracks.
I've been working at the city about, 14, 15 years. I've been dealing with neighbors, neighborhoods, community issues. And I gotta be honest with you, from the city's perspective, there's not a lot of difference between the way Christians and non-Christians neighbor.
That was the moment that really cemented for many of us in the room that we needed to do something together. When Jesus was asked what the greatest commandment was, he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And the person who asked him the question responded by saying, but who is my neighbor? And Jesus takes the definition of neighbor and he just kind of expands it. And he says in the parable of the Good Samaritan that your neighbor is anyone who you are around who is in need. And that's a huge definition. And I think for many of us, we see that our neighbor is anyone around us who's in need, and we just kind of disconnect from the whole idea altogether. And we begin to take this idea of love your neighbor as yourself, and we put it on bumper stickers or refrigerator magnets. But then when it comes to our daily lives, we really don't do it.
The temptation is to just, pull in the garage, shut the door, and then, head inside and watch TV all night or whatever.
When we first moved in, I expected neighbors to show up and introduce themselves, and they didn't, and I didn't either.
I don't know if it was the neighborhood or just the sign of the times, because people weren't as friendly. You didn't see them out.
I think just about everybody can always come up with a reason why there isn't enough time to get out and meet neighbors. And I think the fact is you just got to make the time. You just got to say that is a priority to me.
My dream and my husband Bob's dream is to be a part of a community where nobody falls through the cracks, where people feel safe. And we both feel that the key to doing this is to become a community of good neighbors.
When it comes to neighboring relationships, we're in one of three places. We're either strangers with our neighbor, we might be acquaintances with our neighbor, or we're in relationship with our neighbor. And it's our prayer and our hope that over the next 3 weeks, that each of us will spend some time identifying which of those three stages that we're in. And then that we might just be willing to step out and to make that jump from stranger to acquaintance or acquaintance to relationship.